I hear agents all the time. They call. They're expecting people not to answer. And then I'm like, okay, well, what leads are you calling? Okay, you're calling vet leads or FEX? Vet. Okay, why don't you have your vet script out? If you know you're dialing vet leads. So
Right.
it's like you got to set yourself up. And then if you're going to constantly have that mindset where nobody's going to answer, dude, nobody's going to answer. I'm like, it's really that simple.
It is.
It's really, really that simple. And I'm just like, they're going to answer. Have write it down. I want 5 conversations today. I want 10 pickups, whatever it is. Write it down. You're just sitting there dialing with no intention. It's game over for you.
All right, welcome to the next level. Got a special guest with us today, Nina Giansanti. How we doing, Nina?
Good.
Did I get it right again?
You did.
I'm
You're
2 for
I'm
2.
impressed.
I'm
Good
on
job.
it today. All right. I won't say it again. That way I don't screw it up. So, Nina, you've been with us now a little over a year, right? And you are at 175 year to date. You told me on our other podcast that you're going to hit Hall of Fame this year. So I just want to double down on that. So everyone,
I love it.
you got to make your goals public, right? Or they don't mean shit.
That's right.
Because if it was just your own goal personally, how would anyone know, and who you would never be held accountable?
That's true. You're right.
So Hall of Fame, red jacket at our convention. But what I want to talk about today is something that, is very important on the phone. I said before, I say a lot here, I've never sold on the phone, only in-home. And, something that was huge about the in-home was being in control the whole time. Even though I'm in your house, it's my appointment, I'm in control. Tone is a big deal. Connecting with your client is a big deal, finding some common ground, but also not allowing them to be your friend, right? It's that balance of we want to build some rapport, but I don't want to sit here for 30 minutes and become your best friend now, because then you can easily tell your best friend no, right?
Yep.
Now, how does that translate to the phone? So tone is important, right? Because there's no body language involved.
Yeah.
You can't see the person.
Yep.
And I think on both sides, listening and interpreting your client's tone, but also making sure yours is where it needs to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, early on, were you good at that? Were you bad at that?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a good question. I don't know, but it's all about we call at bats, right?
Okay.
It's like as you can just as many as you can, because then again you can learn once you get off the phone.
Right.
A, record yourself, or B, just kind of go through your mind where I went wrong. What did I say? I should have asked this, or maybe I shouldn't have asked that, or I dug too deep here. And I'll just replay it all in my head over and over and be like, I know exactly where I lost it.
So you're doing that now. Early on, when you were brand new, did you know? Did you speak to someone? Did you record? Like, how did you find out where you went wrong?
I think it was more or less the reaction of them, of the client on the other side. Like, whatever their reaction was, I could tell that's where I lost it.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of mostly where I learned was their reaction to what I said or did or didn't do.
Okay. Did you find a common area where you were losing them in the beginning?
It could have been, right, like maybe quoting too soon or not asking the right questions, or, it's just, there's so many things.
There
right?
is,
it's like you got to hit each point. And if you hit a point before this point, or you're kind of out of order in your sales process, then I feel like it kind of messes you up too.
Sure.
Like me, right, on the phone. And I'm just like, okay, well, now I got to backtrack. And
Yeah.
then I get all tongue tied, and it's just, that was bad. That's another thing I had to learn, right? Like, stick to your process.
Okay.
Don't try to change something that's working.
Right.
Because I feel like that's like, why
It'll
are
screw
you
you
doing
up,
that?
yeah. And I get it. I'm sure it's boring, right? You're like, I've spoke to 10 people today. I've done the same. I said the same exact thing all 10 times. But you want to stick to that because it works.
It works.
The minute you change something, it's like, this business is a roller coaster. There's ups, there's downs, and I think every agent struggles with one or the other. And sometimes when you're riding those highs a little too much, you get overconfident, and then you'll skip steps.
100%.
Right? Because you're like, I don't need to go through the tema, this and that. I don't need to send a micro, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, shit, now I'm not closing. What happened?
What happened?
And it's usually a small tweak, right?
Definitely.
You've been there.
Yep.
How do you get it back on track?
So if I'm ever in a rut, and I've done this a couple times, is I'll move. I'll change my surroundings.
Okay.
So if when I first started, if I went like a week, or not even when I first started, 6 months into 8 months into it, and I'm like, I haven't, what is happening? So I would freak out, and then I would kind of have to think, okay, what am I doing? What do I need to change? And then I remember when I was in Florida, I was like, there's a office in Boca. I'm going to drive up to Boca twice a week and be around other agents, see what they're doing, just kind of change my energy a little bit, change just who I'm around, what I'm doing. Because sometimes when you work at home, it's like, I don't, you could easily sit on the couch or find something to distract you, especially when you're not selling. That's when it happens the worst, right? You're like, I don't feel like doing this. So what I would do, and even when I was up here studying too, I would come into the office twice a week.
Okay.
And it would help. It would totally help. I would ask questions. I would listen to other people's calls.
Did you try working from home first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding? I couldn't wait to work from home. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
I manifested this.
Yeah.
All I wanted was a remote job. But I think having an office that's accessible, even it's an hour and a half, it's totally worth going in.
Right.
Again, when I'm in those ruts and something's happening, I'm like, I'm going to the office.
Yeah.
It helps tremendously. And I try to tell new recruits that too. I'm like, if you live near an office,
get there.
dude, get there.
Right.
Get there. They're going to help you.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about, for me, I remember I wrote a little paragraph on it before, is FFL. It's like the support system here. And I'm not just saying that. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Anyone, no matter what team you're on, you're going to get help.
Right.
It's really, really helped me a lot.
Yeah, there's no excuse to be doing this by yourself. Whether maybe you're not on a team like Nina is, where you have all these local individuals, but there's Zoom rooms that are open to anybody. We're not one of those companies where like, well, whose team are you on? Don't join.
Yeah.
Like, hey, listen in. Who cares? You know. And I think that is one of the as much as I was talking about the differences of going in home. There's some advantages you had there you don't have now, but one of the biggest advantages you have from being remote is just that a Zoom room. I mean, you get on these every day?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're on them every day.
Why are those so important?
They're so important because you're listening to people who are better than you, have been doing this, who have the answers, and they're willing to help. Like, to me, it's just, it's almost silly not to.
Right.
In a sense. Like, the support and the work is there. Because, again, this thing's hard.
Yeah.
I didn't know what America was, or how to even run an application. Thank God they're easy now. But it's like when you first get started, like ask for help. You know, it's not easy. And if you're gonna let your ego in there, it's gonna be real hard for you to get through.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, it's available. Like when we were in home, we'd have to wait till we got out of the appointment, then call someone who was better than, hey, I ran, this happened. But now it's like, instead of me calling Sean to go, hey, what should I have done? Now he's on the Zoom room and I'm listening to him live, or whoever it is. And to your point, there's always someone who's doing more than you hear, unless you're Steve Giordano. But although Harold,
he was on our call. Actually, we do a Team Timeless call every Tuesday. He was on our call, and
really?
I took, I don't know what I took like 2 key pieces that he said. I wrote 21 grand in like 3 days the next week. Yeah. I was like, but you have to implement it, right? So it's like learning from these guys. It's so worth it. Yeah, because it's just gonna help
100%,
like tremendously.
Well, let's talk about tone. So, talk to me about, number one, why it's so important and how to have the proper tone on the phone.
For me, what I just recognize my audience. Okay. Who's my audience? Veterans, right? Yep. So your tone in the beginning, they're used to, that type of, energy, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just strong, right? Strong tone. They're used to kind of being told what to do.
Like direct?
Direct. Yeah. Thank you. Direct. Okay. I couldn't think of the word. Just being more direct. Right. Yeah. And, just acting like the advisor, acting like, we're talking about, don't get on the phone acting like everything, or, because they're they've been through a lot. They've seen a lot. The stories that they tell me, I mean, it just makes it that much more impactful when, I'm able to find them coverage, or, they're so thankful because they have, a lot of medical conditions and, a lot of PTSD stuff. And, they talk about suicide watch, and, it's really sad what I talk to these guys about. So as far as tonality, like, I'm very direct in the first 2 minutes. Like,
is that something that's like, are you naturally a direct person, or is that something you had to learn?
I think so.
Okay.
I think, honestly, managing restaurants helped me with that, because
you almost have to be, right?
I mean, these people are running around everywhere. Everybody's, alcohol included. So it's like, hey, look, like you got to whip their ass into shape because
Right.
like they need to listen because you're running a business at the same time.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped for sure. And then as far as, learning what I'm doing now with the veterans, it makes it, and honestly, I love it. Like it makes it worth it. Like it's like the calls I get like excited for, like the appointments I have. It's like, oh, what are we going to talk about today? What am I going to learn today? And even the things that they tell me, life lessons. They're like, Nina, like it's so funny. I'm like, thanks, Paul. Like, it is. It's really, really great.
That is honestly, a lot of people ask, when we start talking about in-home, like, do you miss being in sales? I'm like, I mean, yes and no. The biggest thing I miss, though, is that. I always say, if you could, like, teleport me to someone's house, put me at the table, and have me talk to them, I'd do it all day. Yeah. That was the part that I enjoyed the most because, I mean, in an average day, and even more now with on phone, but I was meeting 10, 15 brand new people. You sit down, talk to them for a half hour or so, and you do learn a lot about them.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things, like, when I first started selling final expense, I struggled because I was like in my early 20s and I'm meeting, 70, 80-year-olds. And I was always taught, respect your elders, right? So I would be afraid to be direct with them. But then one day something clicked where I started to and realized like these guys have really thick skin. What I'm saying is not going to offend them or piss them off. Like they've been through some shit and they appreciate it a lot more.
Yep.
So I love that you said like that. That is so key because they're looking for someone to be direct.
Yep.
They don't want you to beat around the bush.
No, and they say it too on the phone.
Yeah.
All right, let's just get to it. I'm like, perfect.
Right.
Can't wait. Like, exactly.
Like how long are you actually building rapport in the beginning, or is that something you do throughout your phone call?
I said, I definitely wait for the appropriate time to do that.
Okay.
Right? So it's like I need to set me up as the one in control of the phone call, right? Because if I'm not, they're just going to roll all over me.
Sure.
I just want quotes. I want information. I don't want this. I want this. And then it's what am I going to say? Okay, well, here, $50 for 10, whatever it is. It's just like, no, like, and then, setting the table, right? Which is, we had a caller, Rami, I think his name was, he was incredible.
Yeah.
And I went back and I watched his Zoom over again. And
Rami Hamadi?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's
awesome.
incredible. Yeah. And I watched his Zoom over and, I took a lot from that, right? Like, okay, this is what we're going to do today. This is kind of how it works.
Yeah.
On top of the education piece, because, Mike is really big on, just educating them first.
Right.
And like finding the why and kind of figuring out before we just kind of throw out numbers. And,
okay.
And,
well,
and
let's go. We don't have to go like word for word, but bring me through your process a little bit from the minute you get someone on the phone. Like what is your immediate goal? What are you trying to establish once you have a client on the phone?
Mm-hmm. So just who they are, making sure they're the right person, make sure they know that they're speaking to the right people as well. I'll go through every single thing on their lead form, name, state, date of birth, branch, thank you for your service, means a lot to us here. What we do too is we educate ourselves on what the VA has to offer plus a private market.
Huge. Yeah.
So we bring that up. We're like, hey, look, we'll, again, go through that. We'll ask them for their service-connected disability rating because guess what? That has to do with their health. What does life insurance have to do with, right? Health. So that kind of rolls into the health aspect of the call.
Okay.
But as far as like, the beginning, it's just really establishing who we are as an agency and why we're the right people to speak with and who and what we're doing and why we work with veterans and their families. We're a transparent resource for you.
Yeah.
We there's misleading ads. There's, junk you guys probably see every single day, and you're bombarded with, 100 ads daily. I always say I'm thankful that you came across ours. We've helped thousands and thousands of you guys, and we just want to make sure, again, your family's protected properly, and then we go into the call.
Got it. Now from there, is that where you're finding their why?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then exactly.
Okay.
How
do you do that?
So, just very direct. Who are we looking to protect? Who is this going to go to, on the worst day of their lives?
Yeah.
Essentially. They tell us, okay, then do you have anything put in place? Yes or no. Then you kind of go from there. If they do, okay, perfect. Review it.
Yeah.
Okay. If they don't, okay, well, now we got to figure out why you don't have any yet. Why haven't you done this yet? Why have you waited so long? And what would it look like if, something happens to you next week? Just asking a lot of questions that are hard to answer.
Yeah.
And I say that too. I'm like, look, I have these conversations daily with you guys. I understand that it's not easy to talk about.
Right.
But, you know, you obviously made this appointment or filled out our lead for a reason. You know, let's kind of talk about the why and really see if you even need this. Maybe, you know, your finances are fine. Whatever, just to kind of, you know, bring it down a little bit. I'm not forcing you to do anything. Make you feel like, you know, it's like I don't want to feel like I'm salesy. I hate that.
Yeah.
Even me when I'm out, I'm like, leave me alone.
Right.
But, you know, just again, being genuine, I think in these conversations is so important. And I just try to do my best at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always found too with the final expense of seniors, you almost need less of that rapport building than you would like, you know, a mortgage protection, you know, couple in their 30s or 40s. Like, to your point, they're looking to just get down to business.
Yeah.
They don't want to be on the phone for 2 hours. They don't want to know your whole life story and go like, yes, some of that, but a lot of times they want you to be direct. They want to get down to business.
And I also say too, like if you're on a call and you're so used to asking questions, like feel their energy too. Like if they don't want to be on the phone for you much longer, feel that.
Right.
Like recognize that.
Yeah.
And then just move forward.
Yeah.
Right. Or if like, hey, sounds like you're a little busy, you don't feel like talking about this right now. Like, do you want to just kind of figure it out? Because I don't want somebody on the phone with me either who doesn't want to be on the phone with me in a sense. Like, how important is it? If you're not serious about this, let me know.
Yeah.
Like, because I have many other veterans who are that are just waiting for me to call them. So again, that's also kind of building urgency, you know, letting them know like, hey, look, I actually am here to help you. I actually give a shit.
Yeah.
So like, if you don't, let me know. I'm just here to help you.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to screw you over. I'm here to protect your family. And I make sure that is known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think they respect that more. Like if they're pushing you around and they're in control, you're not going to win.
No.
You're not going to help that family. And in their mind, you're weak. And it's like when you take a step back and think about our demographic we deal with, there are so many people that see that same ad that just swipe right past it and don't fill it out. Right? Like you're doing, it's social media, right? So every damn veteran in the country seeing it.
Yeah.
Not everybody's clicking on it though. You're dealing with the person that clicks on it, reads it, and says, you know what, I need that. Fill out all the information, and then they're there on the other line when you call. So like the need is there. So going back to, you know, the way you talk on the phone, the tone, I think a lot of it comes from being presumptive as well.
Oh, presumptive language, I say all the time. Yeah, you have it's huge. Always always assume that they're getting a policy.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your address so I know where to send your policy?
Yep.
Like it's always the presumptive language, and it's super important.
Those are the small things that go a long way. Like that you could be doing 99% of what Nina's doing on the phone, but missing out on those small things, and you won't help families.
Yeah.
Like, how important is that assumptive, presumptive, whatever you want to call it, mindset, attitude on the phone?
Oh, it's everything. When you get approved, right?
Yeah.
When we start the application, you know, when we put your beneficiary in, when we set up your banking, when it's always those are always questions being asked.
Right.
When we do this, you know, and it's just also, you know, when you get to the banking, right? That's where a lot of agents kind of clam up.
Yeah.
I did it. Dude,
Yeah.
so are you kidding? Of course.
You dealt with that?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was like, I don't even know what a routing number is. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I
And
did,
they
but
sense it
was
though,
just
right?
Like, of course. Yeah. And then like asking for social too. Like, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to need your social security number.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, nah, I need your social so I can pull up your med chart.
Right.
So it's like, it's just very calm and just normal. It's like, this is part of it.
Yeah. It's how you ask. How it resonated with me was, I remember Sean giving this analogy. He said it's like going to the doctor. If I call my doctor today and say, hey, I'd like to come in an hour, they're going to be like, that's not going to work. You can come in at 2 o'clock. You can come in tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, but I want to come in. You can come in at 2 or tomorrow. Which one you want?
Yeah.
And then you pick one. And then when you get there, they don't ask you shit. They go, step on a scale, do this. Hey, put that, robe on, get on the butcher paper. Like, you just do what you're told because you're there because they have something you need. And it's the same thing here. When you're talking to your client, you need to have that mentality before they even pick up the phone that I'm talking to this client because they want life insurance and I'm going to help them with life insurance. And is that going to happen every single time? No. but you need to believe that before they even say hello on the phone. I think a lot of agents that struggle, they're defeated before they even pick up the phone because of their mindset.
I hear agents all the time. They're, they call. They're expecting people not to answer.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, what leads are you calling? Okay, you're calling vet leads or FEX? Vet. Okay, why don't you have your vet script out? Mm-hmm. If you know you're dialing vet leads. So it's like you got to set yourself up. And then if you're going to constantly have that mindset where nobody's going to answer, dude, nobody's going to answer.
Exactly.
I'm like, it's really that simple.
It is.
It's really, really that simple. And I'm just like, okay, they're going to answer.
Right.
Have write it down. I want 5 conversations today. I want 10 pickups, whatever it is. Like, write it down. Because if you're just sitting there dialing with no intention, like, it's game over for you.
One of the biggest, I guess, game-changing phrases that I added early on was, here's what we're going to do today. Like, right off the bat. Because you got to establish the control. And however you say, but, like, I'm calling you. It's my appointment. You asked for help. Why would I be waiting for you to give me the okay to move to the next step, right? Like, you sit there waiting, like, is it okay if we take... No, here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to find out what you're eligible for. I'm going to show you some options. You're going to pick something that fits your budget, and then I'm going to help you apply.
Talk about simple.
In a nutshell, right? And I'm sure that everyone has their own, but in a nutshell, that's what you're establishing early on. So then when things come up like, hey, what's your social? They're not surprised. Well, of course I'm asking your social. We got to run your prescription history to make sure everything you're telling me is true. So what is it?
Right.
Hey, what accounts is going to come out? Have you got the bank and a routing number for that right now? Instead of like, would it be okay if I got your account?
Right.
Then you're making them nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, your tone, your attitude throughout the entire appointment really dictates their attitude, right?
Key. Yep. And we always talk about it too, right? Like when we're on calls, like we can feel them listening to us. We can feel them locked in to what we're saying. I mean, I know you did in-homes, but on the phone, me and Mike talk about, we can feel them locked in. And they're listening to every single word that we're saying. Yeah. When it comes to the education piece, right? Because they don't know a lot of things that we're saying. Right. And they're like, holy shit. Yeah. You had no clue about any of this. Dude, no. I'm like, I didn't think so. That's why we're here. That's why we exist. That's why we're on this call today. So you can get this knowledge, and then we'll figure out what you're exactly like you said, presumptive language. Yeah. And then we're going to figure out what you qualify for, what you're eligible for, whatever the step would be.
It's weird if I were to call a lead that somebody filled out, knew it was life insurance, and then acted like they didn't want to buy a policy. Like, that's strange, right? I mean, they filled all this out. Does that mean you're going to help every single person? No. Yeah. But I mean, if you if you get 10 people on the phone right now, on average, how many are you helping with the policy?
I mean, 10 people, I would probably 5 or 6.
At least 5 or 6, right? Yeah. Which is, and pretty good numbers. I mean, but the point is you have what they're looking for. So it shouldn't be this like asking for permission and is this okay? Assume it is until it's not.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely hard to get, it's hard and important to get past that intimidation part of it. Because it is, right? Sure. It's super intimidating to ask for that conversation. But again, that's why we have the at-bats. And we always say the more at-bats you have, the easier that's going to get. Correct. Because you're going to have way more, you're going to figure out your tone. Yep. You're going to figure out what the next question is going to be. And then you're going to figure out when to ask them for all that info. Right. Like it just comes with it. Absolutely. And these are people that they want you to lead them. If they knew how to do this, they wouldn't have filled. He would already had insurance. Yeah. And I think that's something that's lost a lot of times is this is a small percentage of the population. 98% of the people are not filling out these forms, filling out stuff online. This is a small percentage that goes, I need some help with this. Yeah. And if you can make that switch and understand that everyone who's on the other line of that phone is someone that's looking for help from you, they cannot figure this out on their own. And then the other thing is, when you set up your appointment properly, you don't deal with a lot of objections. Mm-hmm. I would assume, and I haven't asked you this already, but I would assume that you dealt with more objections early on than you deal with now. Yeah. Oh, of course. Right. Yeah, because, I mean, in the beginning of the call, does your wife know you're on the phone with me, Paul? Yeah. Right? Does she know that we're talking about this? Right. Just little things like that. And, we talk about all that stuff, too, because it's like, let's get away from the objections. Let's get them out of the way early. Right. Because if that's the case, no, she doesn't know I'm talking. Okay, well, can you make a decision with that? Like, and then you're kind of fact finding there too, because it's like I can't waste my time if you're just going to tell me at the end of the call you need to speak with your wife. Like, we're not doing that today. Nope. We're here for a purpose, and again, that's all part of learning and just getting used to it.
Yeah. And the bigger thing is, it's not how can I overcome that objection? It's how can I avoid it, right? Like you said, get them out of the way. I'd rather know early on if this isn't going to be a deal, because then I can move on to my next appointment.
Yeah, 100%.
We've all been there, right? You're on the phone or you're in home for an hour, 2 hours. They're feeding you. They're giving you a tour of the house. They ain't buying shit, but.
Well, I say that on my calls too. I'm like, look, Mary, we've been on the phone for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So I need to think about it. Well, we've been on the phone for 45 minutes. I get it. But as far as like coming to think about it, like we've been on for 45 minutes. Is there something I'm missing?
Right.
Is there something you're missing that I didn't give you? Like what is that piece that I missed? And then, I'll take full accountability, right?
Sure.
Like, okay, what did I not do?
Right.
For her to feel comfortable to move forward.
Yeah.
But again, that's all part of the call too. It's like, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. What are we doing?
Right. And thinking about, you thought about it when you filled out the form. You had plenty of time to think about it. Now we're at the point where, hey, here's what it is. Which option do you want?
Yeah, which option? Right.
And that's also a great point, is knowing when to walk away, right? Because you're not going to help everybody. Yeah. We'd love to, but you're just not going to. Mm-hmm. And knowing when to walk away. First of all, if you don't know when to walk away, it may cost you. You may have someone waiting on your next call that you would have helped, but you spent too much time with somebody that you got no shot at helping, right?
Yep.
So that's another thing, that early on it's hard to tell, because you're on an appointment. You're like, I got to close this one. But as you become a little more seasoned, how is it that you know when it's time to walk away?
I mean, just if they're giving me the runaround, or, it's like, because of the leads I have coming in, like, hey, like, it doesn't sound like this is a good time, like, we can always set something up later.
Mm-hmm.
But and that I have 50, 60 other vets waiting for me to call them,
right? So
it's like I'll kind of just make it more like, I'm busy, like I have other people to call. But like, as far as like disqualifying them, I mean, if I don't know, I guess if I just know, like, they're the wife thing, that's, I mean, that, I think that one's probably the hardest.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah. Like, okay, well, when she's home,
right,
we'll reconvene. I don't want to waste your time or my time.
Yeah.
So let's set an appointment when your wife's home.
Because you'll do the whole thing, and then when it comes time for a check or something, then it's, well, I got it, my wife or my husband or whatever needs to be here. Yeah. And you're like, nah, I wasted all this time.
So again, avoid that, right?
Yep.
Like in the beginning. So.
Got it. What else? Anything else on the tone? I guess, how do you know you have the right tone?
I mean, by matching theirs.
Yeah.
Almost.
That's huge.
Like, and, especially, I work with very high up military men in positions. So it's like, I don't know who's on the other line. Mm-hmm. So when they answer, it's like, okay, let me, be direct in the first, minute, mm-hmm. right? And we'll get to that point, and then kind of, be a chameleon and figure out where your call needs to go.
Right.
And how you need to act, and what your tone needs to be, and match their energy. If it's a cute little old lady, I'm not going to talk in my firm voice that I'm going to speak to,
Yeah.
A higher, so it's like, you just got to kind of figure that out.
Yeah. No, that's huge. That was, we dialed on the phone, obviously. We went out for appointments, but that was key to booking an appointment, was if you answer the phone, hey, who is this? I'd be like, hey, it's Mike. Like, wherever you were is where, or, hey, this is Mike. How's it going? Like, I would just meet you there.
Yeah.
Which sounds like that's exactly what you need to do on the phone itself. Mm-hmm. And then setting that tone early on, like, or not setting the tone, but setting the expectation early on, I think is essential. Mm-hmm. Like, how early in your appointment are you letting them know what's about to happen?
Pretty much after the education piece and the why. Yeah. Like, okay, well, now we establish what we're looking for, what mm-hmm. we need. Now is the time we're going to figure out what you qualify for. I'll talk about the different types of insurance, mm-hmm. right? We'll go through that. But I also ask them what they know.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't ask that in, like, a condescending way. I'm like, okay, are you familiar with, like, do you know what whole life is? Do you know what this is?
Right.
I try to kind of ease it into it, but, like, are you familiar with the different types of coverages?
Yeah. What do they normally say?
A little bit, but if you can, kind of let me know. I'll be like, oh, sure, I'll give you a crash course. And then I just kind of go through them.
Right.
It's super simple. Basically, you got to know this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to do, we're going to talk. We've already spoke about your health, so I already know kind of where we're going to fall.
Yeah.
Right. Now is the time we're going to pull up the app. We're going to put in all your info. And then the carrier will tell me usually right away what you qualify for. And then we'll put our heads together, Paul, and we'll see what makes sense.
Yeah. And that's like, whatever you want to call it, a soft close trial clip, but that's how you kind of get there okay without asking.
Mm-hmm.
But you lay it out and then there's no surprises. So then when it comes time to, hey, we're going to fill out this application, hey, I need your account, it's not a surprise because you've already laid that out.
Yep.
If you don't, that's how you ask for objections. If you don't say any of that and then you're on the phone with me and you go, all right, fill out an application now, like, whoa, wait a minute. That's when you get shit like, I thought we were just talking numbers. I thought you were just getting me info. But like you said several times, and I think this is probably the biggest lesson for agents to learn is if you're having success, it's on you. And if you're not, it's also on you.
100%.
Because there's too many people out there doing it.
Yep.
Right? Like the same leads, the same system, the same clients. Why is somebody closing 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 and you ain't closing anything?
Yeah.
Well, you're doing something wrong.
It's always the leads.
Yeah. I love that. We used to do that. Like we would dial. Sean would have people come in and listen, and they would sit there in front of me. I'd book 10 out of 10 appointments. Their question would be, what kind of leads you got?
Yeah, but, oh my gosh.
Like, oh my God.
You have the magic leads.
Yeah, I got the special lead. Like, give me your leads. I'll do the same thing. It's not the leads, it's you.
Yeah.
But the minute you can accept that, that's when you can start to get better.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never get good at this if it's always someone else's fault. My upline, you don't understand, my upline, he's not nice. He doesn't know how to train in this. And then the leads he gave me were bad. And then my client, all the clients in this area are sick. I've heard everything.
Mm-hmm.
The area I'm running in, Mike, there's a lot of sick people and I can't cover them. Like, oh, okay, you got a special area. I forgot.
Right.
But if it's you, then you can fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there was I forget, Sean, I think it was Sean. Yeah. He was like, it's like, he said 100% of the calls that don't close are your fault.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's completely true. Like I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have quoted here. Right. Like I've said before, it's just like, I'm like, I lost it here.
Yep.
And I'll figure it out. And then guess what? Never going to do that again.
Correct. Absolutely.
So yeah, it's definitely accountability is huge in this business for sure. And just, showing up and just getting to work. You'll get there. And I tell him, like, you think I got to this point overnight? There's some people that do, don't get me wrong. It's possible. Didn't happen for me. It took me a long time to get to 30, 40 grand a month.
Yeah.
Long time. But
like, what was your first month? Do you remember what you issued?
Dude, probably 6, 3. I don't even know. I'm like, actually, now I want to go back and check. I don't know. But no, it was certainly not that. And it's funny because, talking about goals, like I couldn't wait to get my first 10K month.
Yeah.
And then I had like an 8K week and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then I had a 15K week and then a 20K month. And I was just like, it's happening. Right. Like now I can finally see the results of all the hours and work and dials and, all the stuff. But again, like just keep going.
Right.
Like, how many times oh my God, dude, crying. Like, I can't do this. It sucks.
Yeah. How many times have you thought about quitting?
I mean, a couple.
Yeah.
Like, when I first started, I was like, hey, like, I'll just, bartend on the weekends. No worries. Like, I'll still do this full time, but I just need the income. Mike was like, no. Like, and I'm, super grateful for him for that. He's like, no, you're like, let's focus on this. You just study, just, have faith. You're going to be able to, to figure this out. We're going to get you there.
Right. Well, you're on your way.
Here we are. And it's so rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Well, it'll be even more rewarding when you hit Hall of Fame this year, now that we put you on the spot. So you can't back down now, Nina. 400K, you have to do it. But all jokes aside, I appreciate you coming out doing this.
Thank you.
And I just like it. It's always great to hear stories of new people. So we have think about right now, it's like it's hard to decide who to do a podcast with because we have so many people out there having success.
It's crazy.
I know. And it's like some people are like, well, he's already been on 4 times. Yeah, I know, but he's so great. But it's just so awesome to hear a new story from someone brand new that just validates the model. It's and something we've worked hard at for years. Our goal when we started this company was to be the best spot for a life insurance producer. And I think we've more than accomplished that. Because I do research on other companies just because I'm nosy. But I'm like, I want to know what they're, and I'm like, they won't even touch what this company does. Nope.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think it goes back to the fact that, when we started, Sean was selling life insurance. Like he wasn't this, agency manager sitting back making millions. He was out there selling life insurance. So we all knew what it took to, have those results and just wanted to give everybody, I guess, a shortcut and a system that works. So
Yeah, it works.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks again, Nina.
Thank you.
Guys, thanks for checking us out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and you know where to find us every week right here on The Next Level. We'll see you next week.